Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining this video. My name is Tara and I am going to be guiding you through some of the steps for heightening your intuition and honoring it. And this is one of the most difficult exercises I feel that I've gone through, is really mastering the mind versus the intuition, really discerning what is happening in the mind versus the heart, or versus the intuition, or versus vision that I pick up on, and honoring the things that I feel, honoring my feelings and my intuition versus getting stuck in the mind and overanalyzing and then not making a move in the right direction. That is in alignment with my highest self. Now, we've all gone through these exercises. If you are a human being, then you have gone through the exercise of your intuition versus the mind, following the heart versus the mind. This is how we learn too. We make mistakes. We sometimes won't follow our intuition. We'll get stuck in our mind or in a certain mindset, and then we realize we made a mistake. Well, again, this happens to everyone. We all go through this. But the more that you can focus on your intuition and heighten that intuitive ability, the stronger your decisions are going to be made based in alignment with yourself and with your higher calling. And when you are in alignment with your intuition and you're honoring it, then life is going to happen easier. Your manifestations are going to happen faster. You're going to be more in flow and in motion with life in general and on your divine path. And what I mean by that is, when we're not honoring our intuition, then we're not living in our authentic self, and we're not honoring our heart. We're not honoring our self, our true self. And therefore, our life is going to be very difficult. We'll run into problems, and we might even suppress and repress what we know in our inner self and what we know to be true, so that we can avoid our truth, so that we can avoid listening to the intuition. And when that happens, it could be because our mind has taken over, or we have fallen into the trap of trying to be someone we're not. And that happens to many of us. It's happened to myself as well. When we grow up in our lifetime and we start to develop an identity that might not be who we are, it might not be our authentic self, it might be because of conditioning when we were children, or because of what society has, the pressures of society have put on us, or our peer groups or our friends. All of these factors are thrown at us on a regular basis, and then we lose our sense of self. And then we don't know what who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to do, where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to choose. So then we get stuck in an identity that isn't our own. And then our life becomes difficult. We lose ourselves. We might suppress ourselves, suppress our heart, lock ourselves in. And that's where a lot of issues come up in life. Honoring your intuition is difficult. It is difficult. We all have intuition. We all have intuitive gifts. And how we honor that and how we feel into it is by letting go of the mind and feeling situations. And if we've been locked in our heart, if we've gone through traumas, if we've buried ourselves and buried and suppressed our intuition, our authentic self, then it's going to take some time to get familiar with how it feels to use our intuition and to honor it and to make decisions from a place of values alignment. Now, for many of you out there, you may very well feel certain things. You might feel called to a certain person, or called to a certain location, or called to a certain job, or not happy in a certain relationship, or not happy in a certain job, or not happy in a certain living environment, or whatever it is, or not happy with sense of self. That's a start. If you're not happy, then start going backwards a little bit into who am I, and feel your way through that question. And then feel your way into what matters to me the most. What matters to me? What do I enjoy? What kind of relationship do I want? Where do I want to live? What kind of home do I want? What kind of success do I want? And the clearer that you can be based on how you feel, then that is the beginning of your manifestation. That's the beginning of you putting yourself on your divine path, on your path of calling, on your path of meaning, on what your intuition is drawing you towards. And that is a whole process on its own, and it does require time to restructure and redesign your life based on what you want and who you are and what you are called towards. And again, we have so much pressure on ourselves from, again, our family, from our upbringing, from society, from our peers, from it all. And this process of what I'm guiding you through, and also what I teach, is to find ourselves and to be free and liberated of all of the pressures of our outside world, all the pressures of our internal mind, of our belief system, our old belief system, and to rewire it and to restructure a new one that is, again, in alignment with our true, authentic self. You're going to be more successful. You're going to be healthier. You're going to have loving relationships. You're going to have meaningful relationships. You're going to live the life of meaning and in alignment with what you desire the most. So life will happen so much faster, and you'll be living a life of richness and meaning in all areas. It will also help break through limiting beliefs, lack confidence, lack self-esteem, lack love, distractedness, being distracted by life, being distracted and avoiding going into the heart, avoiding going into the intuition, avoiding sitting with self, avoiding healing self. Again, when you connect with your intuition, then you start to connect with what you need to do to change, what you need to do to change within yourself and what you need to change within your outer world. Maybe cut out relationships, maybe make changes, adjustments. But again, the more that you can honor what feels right without getting in the mind and overthinking it, and it is a process. This is a long process. It requires a lot of dedication and a lot of perseverance within self by observing when the mind comes in to override the subconscious. And the subconscious is all about feeling. I feel drawn towards this. I feel connected with this. I feel like this is my path. Then the mind comes in and goes, whoa, am I doing this right? What if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't happen? I'm not seeing the results right away. The mind will run on overdrive and basically sabotage the experience. Because when we follow our intuition, we also need to allow for that to unfold in perfect timing and trust the process. Trust that we're doing this right. And for a lot of us too, this is a very new experience. It's something that a lot of us may not have worked with before, honoring our intuition and allowing for that to be our guide, because our mind likes certainty. Our mind wants to know answers. Our mind wants control. And that's a bit of the ego as well. So it's really letting go of it. It also takes a lot of courage to do this work. A lot of courage. It's easier to fall into the mind and to go back into old habits and to be safe and to do what people expect of you and to do what this world expects of you and what other people want of you and all the pressures. It takes a lot of courage to break away from that. It takes a lot of courage to break away from it and to honor yourself. But that is where your power lies. Your power lies deep within your intuition, within your subconscious. And that is where you are going to create from a place of alignment and personal power and clarity. Again, life will be smoother. You'll be more successful. You'll have a more fulfilling life. You'll have greater love. Your heart will be open. And you'll also start to know what else needs to change within self to let go of the past to create the future that you want. There's a massive transition that needs to take place, but we need to honor that transition and we need to honor the process of moving from the old, transitioning, and then moving into the new. And it does take time and we need to honor it. And it isn't smooth. It isn't always up. It could be down and up. It could be sideways. It could be upside down. It could be all of the above. But know that your intuition is going to guide you. Your intuition sometimes is screaming at us as well within our body. And our body sends signals to us all the time based on our intuition, based on what we need to know to make a decision. If we're doing something right, if we're doing something wrong. So again, your body is going to speak to you. Your body is going to send you signals. But if you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. And it very well could turn into something serious too if you're not honoring it completely. And again, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to backstep a little bit, to reassess and to feel into situations. And it may take a lot of practice as well. It might take a little bit of trial and error and some adjustments along the way to feel into what it feels like to let the intuition guide and to trust the process. And the more work that you do, the more confident that you are, the more you're going to feel into it. And I remember for myself, I used to have my mind come in all the time. I have a lot of air energy. I have a lot of mental energy going on. For me, working with the mind has been the most difficult exercise I've ever had to go through. But once I got it, once I understood how it worked, it's solid. It is so amazing when you're in it, when you're in alignment with your intuition, when you can feel and let that guide you and trust. It is expansive. Nothing will get in your way. But it is a process as well that needs to be honored. And like I said, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to pursue this way of life and to pursue the future that you truly are in alignment with. I do hope that this video found you when you need it the most and offers some words of encouragement and inspiration during your journey. I'm wishing you all the best at this time. Take care.